Alright, this is Indecision, and I'm going to be doing a support VOD review for Horus, the Baptiste of this clip. He's playing support on Watchpoint Gibraltar. This is during placements where we all got placed mid-silver to low gold. So, let's get it on with. Okay, so, big thing that I noticed right there is that may have been a misclick, but right up here, 10 seconds, that's an 18-second cooldown. It is possible that if they play dive, you could have just killed your team. Like that. So be more careful with long cooldowns before a match starts, or else you can get put into a very, very bad situation. Good firing. Nice jump to get over the Moira ball. Okay, you saw the Widow. Okay, your Moira dies right there. And it is from the Widow. You can see your leg about now. However, you're still winning the fight. At this point, your team is going to try and get aggressive. Your Roadhog especially, you can see him already pushing up in front of the shield. So your goal here, to also gain ult charge, is to push up to your Orisa shield and try and duel the Widow from behind it and push either back into the spawn or to straight up kill her. Behind the Orisa shield, you're completely fine. So if you have safety, do not be afraid to poke at any Widow. That's like right now you're firing so much for healing, whereas only one of those healing orbs actually did any healing. For all that time, you could be getting high ground, you could be firing at the Widow in the back, you could be searching around, checking your flanks. If you know a Widow's there, do not do a jump. Don't jump at all, actually. If you jump in a Widow's sightline, you are prime bait, and you're a good target because all jumps have a set course, so all she has to do is just wait for the top of it and instant headshot. Nothing you can do about it. At this point, you may be wanting to go to the left because you can see them running out. The reason being is that the Widow is going to look down, you don't have any shields, and your Roadhog is pushed up. Now, there's only one thing that can really kill your Roadhog at this point, and that would, well, two things. That would be an Orisa halt or an Ana sleep. However, if you just stand here, you're going to die from the Widow, or the McCree, or the Genji, who's going to be diving you as soon as he gets a chance. You need to be falling back until the shield is placed back up. As I said, that sleep was not meant for you. That was meant for the Roadhog. The Orisa crossed from the right over, and the Roadhog crossed from the left over, and it was just an unlucky situation where the Ana missed and hit you. However, because your Moira is not back yet, as far as I know, you are probably in such a situation that your entire team's gonna die. Yeah, your Moira is all the way over here. If you would have pushed to the left, you wouldn't have even had the chance to have been slept. You're safe. Your Orisa's keeping you safe. Good. Going for higher ground. Completely fine. If the Widow was on the bridge peeking wide, yes, your Widowmaker may have been able to kill her. However, you also had a large chance to die. When you're running away from enemies, running backwards does not slow you down very much. It's in the single percentage, below 5. So never turn your back on enemies. Just keep running backwards. The only reason that you have a pretty much to turn your back on enemies is not really turning your back on an enemy. It's more spinning to make your headshot hitbox harder to hit. Okay, at that point, you know the Genji is up right next to you, and your Ashe is quite far away from any of the fighting now. You hit them with a single healing orb. However, you know that there is a Widow somewhere up on the bridge area because of where your Widow was shot from. Because of that, the Genji has a crossfire directly onto you with the Widow. And because you spent so much time trying to heal the Ashe who was safe, you died. And in fact, it also left your main tank with less than half health. If you have a person that is safe or is a non-priority, let it go. Don't heal them, even if they call for it, because it is better to heal a priority who is about to die or get yourself to safety. Also, during that time, you did have invulnerability field. So, let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure you had invulnerability field, so you should just throw that down to protect yourself from the Widowmaker, who is currently lighting up the kill feed. Because she has to shoot the invulnerability field 3 times to kill it. So that's 4 shots until you're dead, giving you at least some amount of time. If use the invulnerability field for 3 reasons: saving your teammates, dueling opponents if you are in a good position to do so, or getting yourself out of a bad position. Because right now, this is a bad position. And if you're going to die no matter what, throw your invulnerability field at a teammate. It might help them win. Okay, at this point, you're kind of creating a choke point. What you could have done was that you can, instead of directing yourself directly towards the Roadhog and playing next to him, you have ranged healing, so you can jump onto here, try and peek out, find any information, because you know that your Widowmaker's here, so it's at least safe as long as you don't peek too far out here, which would allow you to see this and then proceed to back up because this point is lost, and you know that because you only have 2 people on, meanwhile they have 6. When this many people are dead, there's no reason to really push. The only reason to even peek is to get ult charge. And there goes your Widow. So at this point, the entirety of the upper bridge is no longer safe and you have to pull back. Roadhog here is suiciding. Straight up. That's an Orisa with a Halt Orb. They have a McCree that can flashbang him. They have an Ana that can sleep him. He's dead. The only thing that can prevent that is the invulnerability shield, or if he backs up right now. So if you have a tank and a choke point against so many crowd controls, back up yourself, make sure you're safe, and then help him. Because if a tank pushes into a choke point without a shield, They're just asking to get crowd controlled and pulled and just die. Right there. Just happened. He got flashbanged, he got widow shot, and then he got triple to even 6 shurikens put right into his face. At this point, your goal is to try and get the Moira out because supports are supposed to peel for each other. And you have one of the best things for that, the invulnerability field. And you need to probably push either to the right. Yeah, pretty much the only way you can get out safely is pushing to the right, up the stairs, and then doing a super jump back towards here. Now the widow, yes, is over near the payload. Her line of sight is looking at the McCree, and she might hit a shot on you jumping across. However, if you don't jump across, you are just going to die. You can also try crouch spamming towards the McCrees to not get headshot. But at this point, you're in a terrible place because you wanted to support your Roadhog too much. If someone's too far pushed up and the point's already lost, don't try and support them. It's just going to get 2 people killed. In fact, here, with where the Moira is, pretty likely to get 3 people killed, and the McCree is probably about to get headshot as well. Genji's here. Your Moira is no longer peeling or even trying to peel for you, so you need to burn as many cooldowns as you can. In fact, even trying to duel the Genji right now is a decent idea because the Ana, their Ana, is all the way back here, so she will be able to throw a nade pretty much to where he is right now. So if you back up at all, it's pretty likely that her nade won't hit. Then there's the Moira here, where if she tries to push up to help the Genji, she's going to get shot by the McCree. It's a dangerous way to push across that much open space. And if she does do that with Fade, that's just giving you more of a chance to kill 2 people. Because Moira and Genji do not kill your invulnerability field fast enough, and you have ult. At this point, you want to be trying to duel them. It's possibly a free kill. Nice invulnerability field. You should ult right here, right now. You know the Widow's here. The Genji just jumped off. You should ult so you, in a way that you can still see down below. So a good way to say it would be to, one moment, would be to ult pretty much here where the camera is right now. Reason being is that if they push to the right, you now have a damage field on them, and you can shoot through a little corner of it to hit the Rishta's shield, breaking it. Also, you can see the Genji and the Widowmaker, and you'll probably kill the Widowmaker instantly. The Genji might kill you, but you have shift to try and beat him. Right now, you're in a really, really bad spot, so you're just trying to trade. You're not getting away anymore. Not unless one of them makes a major mistake. This was the worst possible situation. There's a Halt Orb that you just heard. There's a McCree right here. There's an Ana behind you. You're dead. You're going to get CC'd and die. As Baptiste, pretty much your positioning is to be closer than Ana, but farther than Moira. You're kind of the mid ground. You want to be about where Mercy is actually, when she's trying to play safe and not flying around all willy-nilly. If you play too close, then you're going to be forced into duels, and if you have an invulnerability field and ult, that's fine. You're good there. However, if you don't have invulnerability field, you're just going to die. So, and if you're too far away, it's hard to hit your grenades, especially on faster moving targets, and your damage drops off a lot. A good way to actually play in a brawly kind of way as Baptiste is you can hold down both left click and right click, and they'll interchange shots pretty much in a way so it fires, right clicks, fires, right click, and you can get a lot more damage and a lot more healing out, and you have so much left click that you're going to run out of both at around the same time, and getting even a little bit of damage is better than not doing any. And it's not hold, you hold both of them, but you need to click one and then click the other quickly. You don't press them at the same time. Okay, your Widowmaker just died. Your Orisa has not put up a shield. The Moira sent it in a ball, but you don't know if that's going to displace the Widowmaker. So what you should be doing here is pretty much preparing to kill them on this high ground as soon as you know the enemy Widowmaker is not going to shoot you from the right. What the Orisa should be doing is putting a shield down, pretty much protecting both. So kind of at an angle at the left side of this doorway. This is suicide. The Widow hits you once in the chest, the McCree hits you once, the Ana hit you once, so McCree doesn't even have to land a shot, so pretty much just the Widow, you die instantly. Don't push in without a shield. You are not a front line. You may have an invulnerability shield to keep you alive, but that's an 18-second cooldown that you might need. Let your Orisa push in first, then push in after her. If your Orisa doesn't push, well, they made a mistake, but it's better to just lose this point than get staggered and lose half of the next point as well. There, you died. You got hit by an Ana and a McCree. Let's see where your Orisa went. Right here. You pushed too far too fast. Pretty much this point was going to be a loss no matter what. So you're just trying to build ult charge for the rest of your team, and for you, you're just trying to get out. Don't suicide when you don't need to. Holding a point is important, but staggering yourself from the next point is way, way worse. Whoop. Okay, so your Orisa just died. You can see this up here. In fact, you notice that pretty much everyone is dead. Yet you still peek outwards where you don't know where the Widowmaker is, you don't know where the McCree is. It's just asking to get headshots. Stay in cover. Don't jump. Makes it easy for Hitscan and Hanzo to kill you. It's free kills. If he was any better, you'd be dead now. I'm guessing you thought that your right click could heal you for a moment. That's just hero knowledge. You'll get that over time. The only thing that can heal you as this character is your shift ability. That heals about 150 health over, I think it's 4 seconds. Right here, you are just right clicking, but the Roadhog doesn't actually need healing. Your goal here is to keep checking up top, make sure you aren't getting flanked, and then start healing when you need to. You need to be looking for a chance to use ult, because now you've had ult from the pretty much first point that they capped. Good heals. Invulnerability field. Right now. Because he didn't invulnerability field, entire team got wiped. that Genji has to strike at that thing twice to kill it, and the McCree wouldn't have been able to headshot everyone. So that one, this death was purely because you did not want to use your invulnerability field. It seems like you're being too conservative with your cooldowns. If you see a good point to use it, or if you're saving a teammate, use all your cooldowns. It does not matter. And because of that, the round is lost. Okay. So your aim seems to be good. Your positioning is way too aggressive into double hit scan or snipers, which is just getting you killed over and over again, and you're being too conservative with your cooldowns. Use them more. Especially your ult. Your ult is one of the fastest charging ults in the game. With your grenade healing, if you can hit multiple people with a grenade, that charges your ult just that much faster. So use your ult for yourself. Unless you have someone specifically asking for help, use it to stabilize a fight. If you realize you're losing or you go down a player, ult in front of yourself, kill someone kill someone with your left click, and then start healing your team again. While you're doing this, you can throw the invulnerability field down to save someone to give you time to put the fight back into a 5v5, 4v4, whatever. Oh. Okay, I think you play Baptiste again on this, but I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, you do. So Baptiste is one of the most overpowered supports right now, in a lot of people's view, because of his invulnerability field. Walking out of here, you know that they have a good Widow player. You know that they have a good McCree player. So you should be looking to get to a point where you can throw the invulnerability field to get through a choke point, so you can fight them at close range with right behind your tanks. And if you catch a McCree out in the open by himself, just throw your invulnerability field, he's gonna flash you, then you kill him. It's free. Widow's here, you move to the... Do not do that. You did 10 damage to that Widow. Maybe 20, 25. That Widow had 2 shots that she could have taken on you. You moved to the left and then pressed right. So, can be a harder shot because you're changing directions. AD spam is very, very important to survive Widowmakers. But, get yourself in cover. You do that, but you do that too late. Your gun is pretty much only good from where you are standing now to about here. Right here. So think about that when you are firing. Unless you get headshots, you are pretty much putting yourself at a severe disadvantage, and you're just gonna die. That's almost double the range that you were firing at the Widowmaker. You saw your Moira low on the left. As a support, you're supposed to heal and peel for them first. Your Genji went behind. It's completely fine to keep looking this way and getting cover. However, getting cover on the right over here in the stairwell is a much better idea, especially since you have a Reaper with you who will clear it with you if you ask. It's very, very safe, keeps you out of the Widow's range up here. The only thing that could grab you from that is if there was a halt orb being placed right above this box. Good heals, nice reaction to heal. You're just standing in the open way too much. There, you died for it. Don't trust your shields that much. Get in cover. Reason being is that all shields fail and you will get headshot. The Widowmaker was waiting for that shot. Or you walked in front of the Rissa and you died for it. In fact, we can even check what the Widowmaker was doing here. We're going to start the fight. That jump could have gone you killed. Because you didn't notice the shield break, you died. That Widowmaker just looked at you as a healer in the front line and pretty much said, cool, free fight. If Christian hadn't killed the Genji up here, you would be throwing at that point. As a healer, do not play frontline ever unless your entire tank line is dead. And you are... Baptiste is a pretty good one with invulnerability shield. Let me pull it back to you. Okay. Going back completely fine. Don't swing this wide. You know they have a Widowmaker. Even though your cart is pushed farther forward, a Widowmaker could still be up right here and you can die for it. Push to the right. There's so much more cover around the right. As a support, you should never go left. Unless you are a Zenyatta with a full charge trying to kill a Widowmaker. Even then, that's extremely dangerous. At this point, don't even walk forward. Call it for everyone to walk back. Even using the shield is dangerous. The shield should be placed way farther back, so that means you should be getting in cover right behind these boxes. And that shield is going to get blown up in less than 5 seconds as soon as they start shooting at it. Good healing on the other support. Always keep an eye out on their health bar above everyone else's. You're jumping out of cover. You just saw the Widowmaker up here. That Widowmaker could have easily stayed there for an extra moment, then grapple hooked away, and you jumped across and would have died. So I guess the main things for you so far would have been stop jumping when there are hit scan or Hanzos. You're gonna die for it. Play more behind your tanks and look for natural cover of the map always. And be more... use your cooldowns more. That was dangerous, but it is acceptable. A good way to actually help your Roadhog out there is to jump up as well as soon as he killed the Widowmaker, because you can help him 1v1 a Genji pretty easily. Invulnerability field is good, but nobody was close to dying. The coalescence was going off, which means your Reaper up here is going to be getting healed no matter what. You pretty much just wasted an 18-second cooldown again. Use them more, but use them correctly to save people, to duel. If you just use them randomly like that, you are putting yourself in a bad situation for the next fight. Also, your Roadhog died. You saw him up there. That means you're going to be getting flanked by the Genji, and the McCree killed him, so probably McCree as well. Okay, you see the McCree is directly up here on the bridge. You hear the Genji up there as well. Your goal here is to get into this side room or walk or get all the way to the opposite side with the mini. If you don't do either, you're just going to get headshot by the McCree over and over and over again until you're low enough for a Genji Swift Strike. You're not healing anything here. Be more accurate. That's just mechanics, which you can work on over time. In fact, it's the easiest thing to improve because the more you play a character, the better you'll get. But think about every time you right-click. Don't just right-click without thinking. Otherwise, you'll miss shots over and over and over again. You knew the McCree was behind you. You knew the Genji was behind you. Yet you haven't even turned, so you're probably about to die. You can't right-click to heal yourself. That Genji was one shot away from killing you. Your Widowmaker killed the McCree, which is good. And your Reaper saved you. Good. That's good job if you calmed that you needed help. However, you should have gone cover faster than that. You pretty much just walked out into the open. Do not stand up out in the open when this is opening. The Widowmaker could be standing in three or four places. I'll show you them all real quick so you can figure it out. So the Widowmaker, from where you are, can stand here, and as soon as the door opens, she'll kill you. Can stand here, and as soon as the door opens, she'll kill you. Can stand here, and can swing out. She has to deal with the enemy Widowmaker, which means you don't have to worry too much about this area. However, if she swings out on the other side, quick peeks around this box, if she kills your Widowmaker, you pretty much will all die if she is accurate. Then, of course, she can peek from here and see you, and she can peek from here and see you. Make sure that you are in cover, either on the left, the right, behind the forklift, or crouching directly behind the payload. Looks like you went AFK here. Because you went AFK, your Reaper died. Because you didn't see the Widowmaker at any of those points, in fact, you can see them with your Widowmaker's thermal. You pretty much just let him die. So keep on your toes. You have invulnerability field. You could have thrown it up there to save his life. Now you know that the McCree is over on the right. You know the Widowmaker is in the stairwell. Your goal here should be getting to the left as quick as possible so you don't get flashbanged. There's the McCree. You just saw him. Your tank line have almost full health, and the one that doesn't has a self-heal. You have a Moira with you, and she can heal the tanks. So you are free to do whatever you want now. What you should be doing is killing him. 2 burst headshots and he dies. Or he is pushed back to the Ana immediately, and you don't have to worry about the right as much. You have invulnerability field. Good use of it. He killed it in the first 2 strikes. However, because of that, your Roadhog was able to push up and get the kill on the Moira, and then they wasted Nano. Whenever you start getting hit by a Genji while you're in your invulnerability field, make sure you press your area of effect healing, because getting that little bit of health extra can save you or a teammate just in case anything happens. If he gets halted away, if he gets hooked away, whatever. Just use it. If you don't, you're going to have a cooldown when you die. However, it didn't really matter here because everybody was dead anyways. Okay, you know Widowmaker's here. Don't do what your Reaper just did and step out jumping. If you do that, you're dead. Wait for Orisa to put down a shield and then walk forward. Good. That was perfect. What you did there, absolutely perfect. That is on your left. Don't move. There we go. Perfectly fine. Everything's fine. You actually peeked out too far. I think it was because the Roadhog bumped you. However, because of that happened, if your Widowmaker hadn't hit that shot, and then if your Roadhog would have missed, you had a chance to die. Okay, you just saw the Widowmaker. You see the Genji. And your team's pretty good on health. Maybe a single right click on the Orisa would be good. After that, you want to start trying to put a little bit of damage into either of them, depending on what you feel is better at the time. You're panicking with your shots. Think about what you are going to shoot. Ult while you're shooting. You can do that. There's no separation between the ult and the shooting. Just keep holding down the left click button. By holding down the left click, you are going to have to reload sooner. Well, pretty much holding down the left click button in the way that you did, you're going to have to reload sooner. And you pretty much had to throw off your entire aim instead of putting shots into the Orisa barrier or into the Ana that is right there. When your ult comes up like this and the Widowmaker has run away, unless the Ana swings out, which she's not going to because there's a Roadhog in her face, just destroy the Orisa shield. Good heals, good heals, good heals. You were too focused on your main team here that have self-healing and have a Moira. And you even saw your Widowmaker up at the top, and because you were too focused and tunnel visioned, the Widowmaker died to a Moira ball of all things. So try not to tunnel vision when a fight is already won. Try and keep as many people up as possible. Or straight up kill people. Baptiste is great at dueling. You still have the invulnerability field. That throw to save your Widowmaker with the invulnerability field would have been difficult because it would have bounced back off. It would have bounced right off this wall. And you would have had problems. Okay, so you're about to figure out the enemy Widowmakers up top. Okay, you saw her jump, which means you should be getting under the Orisa shield, and as soon as the Widowmaker fires, you need to push up to where the Roadhog is. She fired. You need to push immediately. Good job. The Reaper ran away from healing. That's completely fine. This is dangerous. You don't know where the McCree is. However, you have the Roadhog directly in front of you. You kind of want to stay further back. In fact, the best place to go here, because you know the Widowmaker is way up top, would be here. You have a place to fall back into. Yeah, you'll die if your team dies, but that's fine. And you can still see and peek out quickly. The one thing that can one-shot you on their team can't kill you here. Genji dashed. You should be turning to immediately shoot at him. I guess that's fine there, but because you pushed out of cover from the right or getting more cover on the left from the bridge because you knew people were up there, you're just going to get shot in the back. That has happened twice now. You also did that with the McCree and the Genji in the earlier rounds. Well, earlier in the round, I think. Okay, you switch to Mercy. It's fine if you stick with mostly your Roadhog or with your Widowmaker. I guess if the Reaper goes really, really hard and damage boosting him for the extra healing that he gets is also decent. However, now you don't have a defensive ult. So every single time that the Genji ults, it's gonna be a team wipe unless the Widowmaker headshots him or the Hog hooks him. Very aggressive. Don't do this. McCree, Genji, Widowmaker. You should be dead here. You're also jumping. If this was high gold, low plat, you should be dead. Nice crouch there. You dodged a headshot. So, you no longer have a Widowmaker. You now have a Genji. The big thing with this comp in relation for Mercy is you can damage boost the Reaper if he is in a 1v1, and he'll get pretty much as much healing as he would if you were left-clicking him. Then you can damage boost the Roadhog whenever he gets a hook or when he is ulting. And then you can also damage boost the Genji when he's ulting, and it will act almost like a nano. When you're just doing nothing and everybody's pretty good on health, what you should be doing is damage boosting the Genji. The reason being is that the Genji gets all characters that are DPS get ult charge off of how much damage they do. That also includes damage boosted things. So if you damage boost shurikens, he has to hit 2/3 of what he would normally have to. This is dangerous. You know the McCree is directly to the right. If he has flashbang, you die. Wait for your Risa to clear it, or just swing wide, pretty much. When people are getting rezzed, they cannot be damaged. They have iframes. So, in that case, as soon as you res someone, immediately start thinking about the rest of your team. Unless they have an ult like Roadhog ult or Reaper ult or Genji ult, where damage boosting it is what is going to win you the fight. If so, yeah, you can keep with them. You're turning your back on the enemy team. You can left click on someone, then flick to the right or left to check where enemies are. Don't just look at your team. It's cutting off a lot of your information and putting you in danger. when you're up against a Widowmaker, if you do fly up in the air and stay there, make sure to quickly rotate your camera so you can flick your head around to make sure that it's harder to headshot you. That was dangerous. So the Widowmaker's above you. The McCree just died, and your Reaper is in an extremely pushed position. Pretty much your goal here is to try and not get headshot right now. That Widowmaker, last you saw her was above you. Don't res in these situations, it's an easy headshot. Or just wait till this shield was placed. This is when you should have done it. Good healing. You missed the shift, but that's fine. It happens. And you didn't waste Valkyrie. That's good. In those situations where it's a nanoed Genji or something that will just one-shot your team, don't use Valkyrie to try and save them. Legitimately, you have pretty good positioning as a Mercy. You're staying with your tank line quite a bit. It's just keep your eyes more open, flick around, try and find where things are. Don't just let yourself be protected. Make sure that you can avoid things if necessary. Because staying with your tanks this close behind the shield, perfect. That was close to you. In fact, I think if it wouldn't have hit your Moira, that would have been you. At this point, just wait till the shield comes up, then res. You might be getting slept. Yep. You get slept there. Your Moira's up, so you have to switch. However, your Moira didn't know what was happening, so your front line's about to die. Good Valk. If you wouldn't have been woken up there, your team probably would have lost. I don't know why you didn't die there. So you were with your team. You're currently healing your Orisa. However, you saw the Widowmaker. As, say, Mercy, if you're going against someone that's longer ranged, like a Hanzo without Storm Arrow or a Widowmaker, or even a soldier without his biotic field, don't be afraid to take a duel. As the meme goes, Mercy's gun does a surprising amount of damage. Because you could have killed her there. That's for sure. Or at least you would have forced her to use hookshot to a much worse place than she did. For information, it's okay to swing wide and peek through a shield once, but after that, you want to be getting natural cover behind this wall over here. If you don't do that, the Widowmaker's now up, you don't know where she is. It's possible that you're just going to die when your shield goes down. So just peek for information once, and then play more safe. Unless you have a new shield, which then it's fine. McCree, the enemy McCree is behind. This point, you need to heal up the Moira and shift around into the room either back here, this little corner, or you need to shift all the way to where your Reaper is. This would be the best. Because if you stay where you are, the Roadhog's healing, he can't protect you. The Genji's not paying attention, the Moira's not paying attention, the Orisa's dealing with the rest of their team, and the Reaper is currently setting up to try and get a flank. So you need to shift forward when you're caught out like this on an open sight line to try and get away. After you healed the Genji past 3/4, damage boost him. While he's blading. Get behind the shield first. Doing that is dangerous. Nothing you really could have done about that. Make sure to always check the tab, pretty much both teams' comps, every 30 seconds or so. And definitely after every fight. So you can notice that things like the Widowmaker changed to Doomfist. That happened before that last fight where you got Genji bladed. Just make sure to keep checking, because now you don't have to worry about the open sight lines as much. Failed shift, it's fine, you'll get better at that with time. Push to where the McCree can't see you. He can't see you as well if you push to the right and stand behind this little stairwell. Think about all parts of the map when you are trying to get cover, not just rooms. Pretty much. That's dangerous. So, you rezzed your Orisa. I would say that that's normally okay. However, with where the Orisa was, right next to a Reinhardt, that is not a good trade. As a Mercy, you are not less important than the rest of your team, and especially when an Orisa is close to a Reinhardt, that is where the Reinhardt wants to be. The Orisa will never outdamage a Reinhardt at close range. It's not going to happen. So, at that point, screw the Orisa, go help your team on cart. Your Orisa died. It's her fault for being that far back. Since you weren't there, the Roadhog, Genji, and Moira died as well. That is pretty much the punishment for trying to help the Orisa out of a bad positioning decision. Okay. So, that was Horus's game, where he played Baptiste and Mercy on Watchpoint Gibraltar. I hope that all support players can get something from this, and we'll watch it a few times to figure out parts of the game that they can improve.